Ever since I started seeing that other coins are still yet to make an all-time high, including Cardano, and we've seen Injector do it, and Rune is doing it or about to do it. I wondered about the Bitcoin pattern, right? And I've had many interpretations of this, and I could come up with a million counts to try and justify my claims. But what if we're looking at not just Bitcoin producing a fifth wave, like I've got marked out here? Because in all honesty, this pattern looks like a very strange five-wave move. Okay, normally you'd see a bit of symmetry between patterns when they occur, right? You'd see something that looks like a five-wave move, right? Like that. But when you take this kind of pattern and you see how it's kind of wave-four elongated, both deep, to me this makes me think of that analysis I did on recently on XLM, right? Now, if you go back to 2020 and you look at the XLM pattern, according to this view, you could see that the waves one and two, right? The one and two waves were both small at the bottom end. Now, they may have been shallow, but the point is that this particular count suggested that the wave fours expanded at the higher end, which caused this type of pattern. And the reason I found that is because I pay attention to each in every correction. And that's the whole point of AriasWave. So if I was to say that we had a 1, 2, and we had a 3, where's the 4? Well, it didn't end here. A, B, C, that's part of a D, right? And then I had to sort of say, okay, the D went up to here, there was an E, and then there was a 5. And then there was an A, B, C, a D, and an E. There was a 4. So who could have predicted such a move? So there's a flaw in looking at the waves. There is. There's a massive flaw. But the thing is, I'm not going to give up on the waves just because of that, right? In fact, it's made me even more dedicated to looking at the waves to see where we are now, especially in Bitcoin. So going back to BLX chart, like there's no reason for me to give up what I do. Instead, there's probably a chance, because let's not forget that after my previous analysis, I believe that this, move down from 2017 to 2018, this is a base. This is the base for all future moves. So if anything, there's no chance of coming down below it, unless you're a crap coin that's going to die. And who cares about those? Hashtag algo, potentially. Because that pattern did go down below that level, and I don't know what that means just yet. And I wouldn't gamble on it either, especially when there's so many other projects that you could be focused on. But the one thing it does do is it sort of makes me realize that this type of pattern could be a 1-2-1-2 pattern, right? It could easily be a 1, right? A 2, a 1, and a 2, ignoring the smaller counts, right? So in that particular case, right, assuming that any of these counts are right down here and we have a move up to the highs, this could potentially just produce a cup and handle pattern at the highs and then continue higher. Okay. And that might take some time. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean it's going to happen in one go. But at the same time, we have don't forget that I did put out that video about the Dow Jones recently that basically said, this is the count. We are still in an uptrend. we still have to go up to this height of 54,000 before we see any type of real crash, right? Now, in crypto world, we've seen a move in 2017, we've seen a move in 2021, a pullback, and now a move up. But, you know, yeah, cryptos move when there's a move in the stock market, right? And I really do think that this was a complete correction. I believe that this was an A, B, C, D, E, right? Yes, this was a D. Yes, it was expanded correction. Not the point. The point is we've actually broken the highs. So this is a confirmation that we're going higher. So why wouldn't Bitcoin go higher? Why wouldn't Bitcoin follow the market at its impulsive points in time? Well, not to say that this was supposed to be an impulsive move in 2021, but it sure as hell did produce that effect given the money printing. And isn't that, after all, what Bitcoin's supposed to be a kind of hedge against? So it is in my opinion, I believe that we will see Bitcoin go a lot higher, but not in a straight line. I don't believe this is going to do this particular thing. It might come back a bit first, right? I don't believe the market is ready to just go straight up. I think there's going to be something in between before that happens. And that could be what we're waiting for in cryptos. I have a good feeling about it. I look at the Aussie market as well, which is where I'm from, Australia. Besides, it's Christmas Eve here, so pretty fitting to say that. But look, I think that my analysis has changed because I'm willing to adapt. I don't quit. Failure. People who quit are the real failures. People who keep failing eventually succeed. So, yes, I might have got it wrong many times, but I don't quit. But this time it's a bullish count. So, a lot of people should be on board with this, right? Because people tend to hate when I'm bearish, but when I'm bullish, they tend to love it. But it's only because I found a good reason to be bullish right now that I can say that there's a good potential for this move. Now, to round this off, I'm going to go back to XLM and remind you that XLM is not in, it's not in that camp of basically just moving up for the sake of it. It's actually producing a 1-2 pattern. And I'm actually happy that it's doing so because it's a coin that I'm really interested in buying. So for me to finally say that yes, there's a chance that I will buy at perhaps 0.05 US or 0.06 or 0.07, around that area, who cares? It doesn't matter. There's a good chance that I could buy a few of them because I believe that this will definitely go a lot higher, given that it's a wave 1, 2, and wave 3s are the longest. When will I pull my profits off that one? Well, when I see a complete 5-wave move, basically. A complete 5-wave move, according to AriasWave. I'm not going to say textbook. I'm going to say according to AriasWave, right? Because I track these moves and I will continue to track them. I'm not going to stop. This is just the beginning, right? And I believe there's a good chance, given that we have the XLM BTC pair that I'm been working on lately, trying to kind of think of ways of how it works. This particular count is actually the old count. There's a new count I'm going to release soon, but it's still roughly around the same area of basically we're at the end of XLM being down against Bitcoin. In fact, it's going to probably rally extensively against Bitcoin. So there's a good chance that we could see something in the future that could potentially take it to 0.1 Bitcoin, but that's for another video. So hopefully I've given you something here to think about. Thanks for watching.